Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I am your host, Perry, and with me on this Friday night, the Fridayest of nights.
The most Friday.
The most Friday. There we go.
Yes.
Swan's back.
Hello.
Hey, man. I've missed you.
Missed you too.
We saw each other briefly over the weekend.
Yes.
And, but all in, it's been almost 2 weeks since we've sat down and recorded. So,
yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the beginning of the year, things will be kind of...
Yeah, retail and holidays, not friends.
No, not
Nope.
at all. Especially when you just started a job in a retail position.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the fresh meat.
I am.
You're the puppy.
I'm a small man on a non-existent totem pole.
Small fish, big pond.
Yes.
Kind of.
Lots of analogies floating around.
There are so many that we could use, but you know what? The best analogy that I have for this podcast
Bourbon
is bourbon. Yes, because the longer it ages, the better it gets. What I say? No. No, hey, if you're a new listener to the show, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Please go ahead and subscribe. If you're not yet a Patreon member as well, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. More about that at the tail end of the show. We start out every episode with Flying Blind. And this week, we started Flying Blind on the pregame chats on Patreon. And we're finishing it up here.
Yes.
Tell me, Swan, what you think about this bourbon.
Well, it's kind of got like a honey, some orange, almost like those orange cream candies.
It is very citrusy and creamy.
Yeah. You know those candies that like the cream savers that just came out of nowhere and then they left as fast as they arrived? It's those candies.
Whatever happened to those? Do they still make them?
They're a mystery. They show up. It's just like the little strawberry looking candies that are wrapped. They're just, no one has those. You can't buy them. They just show up.
Whatever happened to the popular candy cream savers? Let's petition to get these back.
They're amazing, yeah.
They're the best. Sadly, you can't find bags of cream savers at big stores like Walmart and Target, not even Amazon. However, there is some good news. There are some brands you can find nowadays that are producing hard candies which taste very similar to cream savers. If you're craving that nostalgic taste of Cream Savers hard candy, then try out Campino yogurt fruit candies. They look exactly the same.
It's not the same, though, Perry. It's not the same.
Well, it does say that the reviews are positive and customers seem to be raving about them.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case.
I'm going to try them.
I don't know. I feel like this is drinking criminally under the actual proof.
It drinks super easy.
Yeah. And it's scaring me a little bit.
Yeah. Any idea on price?
70.
Okay. What about age?
6 years.
Okay. Proof?
107.
Okay. You said 4 roses earlier.
Yeah.
Any day of the week with this bottle, I would have said more than likely. This is a bullet pick.
Gotcha.
From Justin's House of Bourbon.
Nice.
It is not, however, sourced from 4 Roses.
Okay.
Yes, they do source from 4 Roses.
Mm-hmm.
This was sourced from Brown Foreman.
Interesting. Okay.
And is 12 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, and 104 proof.
For $60.
Goodness gracious.
I went into Justin's today. And Caroline's like, what are you coming here to buy something or just stopping in to say hey? And I was like, no, I want to pick something up. She's showing me like all the different picks. And I was like, what about your Knob Creek? Is your Knob Creek good right now? And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't even tell you. This bullet pick is 12-year Brown Foreman for $60. I was like, excuse me? And I specifically, like I picked one bottle up and it was just a little bit lower in fill than some of the other ones. And I was like, I'm going to grab the one that's more full. I told her too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting the more full one. But this, I hadn't tried this until right now. This is really, really good.
It is. It's got. I can see like some of the Brown-Forman-esque qualities, but it's like the best of Brown-Forman. It's not the banana bread crap that they. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. It's about the best Brown-Forman I've had.
Yeah, it is.
It might be the best Brown-Forman I've had.
I know another place that's got a 12-year pickup bullet right now.
Really?
Yep, and it is Four Roses.
Really?
Yep. So.
Tell me after the pod.
I will, and it's a blend of all 10 recipes.
It's a small batch 12-year-old?
Yeah.
What?
At 104 proof. I'll let you know. I'll let you know
I'm
later.
so confused.
Don't worry about it, Ferry. Don't worry about it.
All right, fair enough. Hey, Swan, what have you been drinking recently? That's what I was going to ask.
Scotch.
Who are you?
I know. I've been trying different kinds and seeing what I've like, and the general consensus is if it's expensive and somebody's let me try it, it's not that bad, but I can't fully appreciate it for what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, it's kind of fruity. Ta-da. Like, that's...
Ta-da!
Ta-da. Yeah, like, it's fine, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I know that there's probably somebody going, like, you had a 15-year whatever finished in sherry cask. That's, like, phenomenal. And I'm just like, I mean, coming from bourbon,
right.
it's not that bad. It's like,
Yeah.
that's my thing.
Yeah.
So, probably not appreciating it that much, but sure. It's fine.
Yeah. I did an ECBP shootout last night on my stream.
I was there. I was there for that one.
I got a little toasty.
Just a tad.
just a bit, and it really snuck up on me too. Like usually, if you're sitting for a while and then you stand up, it's like, whoa, I am way more drunk than I thought I was. Mm-hmm. But like, I was just sitting there. I was like, hold on. Let me stabilize myself, please.
Yeah.
But I also reviewed this bad boy.
Yeah.
The Wilderness Trail 6-year. You need to try some.
I've had it.
What?
I've had it before. Yeah, it's good.
Oh. Yeah, I thought it was all right.
I think it got rid of some maltiness that they have on the yellow label.
Yeah.
That has not always been my favorite, but that's about the only thing I really have any issue with. If you can find it at a good price, though.
Well, like I said on my stream, there was a guy selling it on Facebook for $50.
But that is a good price right there. Yeah, you jump on it at that price.
That's $25 less than retail.
Yes.
I was like, there's no way I can say no to this.
Yeah. So, you buy it at that price.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I did. Excuse me. Oh, Whiskey Drummer came in this week from 3 Chord.
That's insane.
Had a
man.
little bit of that. Full bottle, too. That was one of the more amazing things that happened. Like, everybody else was getting, like, a 200 ml bottle with 3 ounces in it. Mm-hmm. And it came in the mail. I was like, "What? Who is dropping off a FedEx package at 10:30 a.m.?
Yeah.
With my name on it?" And I'm telling you, I opened that box and I couldn't pick up my jaw from the floor.
It's one of the best things I've had this past year.
I don't disagree. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's expensive as all get out.
It is. $180 for a bottle is a lot. Mm-hmm. But genuinely, I think it's about $40 to $50 more than it needs to be. And at that point, it's if you really want it, kind of cost, you know? So that's not always the worst thing.
No. I'm not fully upset with the price on it. I mean,
No.
you can get sorry, Dixon, Kentucky Owl products that are younger than that for a lot more money. So
Yeah. And I think it's also good to point out that the rumor is that it's 15-year-old Knob Creek. So it's kind of that kind of flavor profile. Could be sourced from that. Yeah. And so, I mean, think about it. They just did a 15-year-old Knob Creek at 100 proof and sold it for what? And then
120.
Yeah, and then
something.
they made it cask strength for this one. I mean, you're getting to, you know, the same kind of territory.
And it is just Kentucky bourbon. I don't know why I thought that it was a blend.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? I got something else this week that's a blend. Maybe I'm thinking of no,
You're thinking of the barrel.
the New Year?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of something that's like from 3 different states. As opposed to the 7 that Barrel New Year is.
Yeah.
Because that's insane.
It is.
So many different states. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we've been drinking on stuff recently.
We've been drinking on stuff, indeed.
As shown by the memory loss.
Excuse me. Yeah, something like that. Thanks for just steamrolling over me coughing. Now I can't take it out, Swan.
That's the best part. I do it intentionally.
Always got my back there, bud.
Yep.
So we're actually not going to be doing any reviews. No, we're not going to be doing any news this week.
Yeah.
Rather, we're just going to be doing reviews.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, the past couple of things that I've seen have been very well, like, put out there. Like, everyone knew about it.
Yeah.
With the exception of the one little bit of news that came out today, but even then, I've seen it all over the place.
Yeah.
And that was just because Costco is picking up some new Barton brands. Which, if you haven't seen that, look at that, man.
And speaking of Barton, there's a new line that they're putting out too, the Thomas S. More.
Yeah.
Just bonkers.
Yeah.
Just bonkers. When I saw that, I was like, this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. It's strange, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I'm so glad somebody else, they feel my pain, because I can't tell you how many times in my life somebody has gone, oh, well, we'll just do your the first initial and your last name. And I'm just like, oh, God, I'm S'more again. I'm S'mores again. And they feel the same pain.
Yeah.
Thomas S'more. It's great.
Yeah. But, I mean, otherwise, there's not really much for us to kind of get into.
They have a white wine finished bourbon in that.
Oh, yes, they do.
And I'm excited for that.
I can't freaking wait to try that one.
Yeah. Because that one is the most original. And I think everyone's like, the two have been done. Give me that.
And we do have, we have samples on the way as well.
Yes.
So, shout out to our buds over at... What'd you say?
I wonder if they know. That's like, we have the same name.
Oh, probably not.
Like, very close.
I didn't mention anything about you in my email.
Cool. I'll just message them on Facebook and be like, hey, that's mine, right? Yeah.
So, where do you want to start? Should we go lowest proof? Do you need another glass?
I should not shoot this.
No. You probably shouldn't shoot that Nulu either.
Just start with the Nulu, and then we'll just...
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I don't want to, I think this is one that we should, because it is a pick. It's probably not fair to do nose, palate, finish, price.
No, we can just talk about it and kind of give it a generic score. We might do that for a couple of these, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we just have, we got a backlog of stuff we've been meaning to get through, and we're about to do that, final consideration of the best of whatever.
Yeah.
And so we kind of need to just, steamroll through a few of these. It's Bourbon Nights doing that right now, too.
We should definitely do this one next.
Yes.
This one we will talk about.
This one we'll talk about. I feel like we should review it without telling them what it is, and then say at the end, just to make prolong.
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
I'm okay with that. Boy, this Nulu smells so good.
See, that's why I said it needed to open up. It
smells so good, man.
Yeah.
You're right. It does smell like fried ice cream from a Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
But it also kind of smells like Dunkaroos.
Yeah.
Which are back this year, by the way.
They are back.
I've not seen them anywhere though.
No, they're back. They're not in my possession, so I really don't care yet.
I will care. I'll care very much.
I will care
when
eventually.
I own some. I'm sure you can order them on Amazon. That is different.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's really good. Oh, the finish is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, the finish is so good. And it's still lingering.
Oh, yeah. So this one's fun because, like, I got to try it at work. So, of course, you have to, like, spit it out
Yeah, I
because
was
you
gonna
can't
say.
just be getting drunk on the clock. But for the next however long, I just breathed this into my mask
Ooh.
at work, and I was just like, oh, this is so good, man. It's like hot fudge and, like, churros and
Yeah.
just, like, marshmallows and stuff. Like
Chocolate-covered churros, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang it. Hey, Total Wine did a great job with this one.
We didn't pick this.
Whoever picked this did a great job with this one.
Prohibition Craft Spirits was like, this is the best thing we got for you. And they sent it to us.
Do you mean Chase Hazelbaker?
Yes.
I don't want to dox him, so.
Okay. No, hey, man, he's the one that does all their social media stuff. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure he'd appreciate the shout out. But seriously,
Shout out Chase.
I've been like very impressed with their products.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely make sure to let them know that we're kind of drinking it a little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I even, kind of loosely recommended this to some of our listeners that came and saw me at the
Yeah.
store, and they
Yeah.
both picked up bottles, and they've been kind of passing it around and enjoying it. I mean, I think it's worth pointing out that, like, they're putting out some good stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
And there's a couple of picks around town right now that I want to go after. Mm-hmm. And this being one of them. There's another Toasted Barrel that's around town as well. I can't remember what the proof is, but I definitely want to go and grab it.
well, that's the weird thing is, like, what would you guess the proof would be on this?
Much lower than it is.
Yeah, it's 117.4.
Yeah, I was going to say, I knew it was 117 and change,
Yeah.
but it does not drink like that at all.
Yeah.
It drinks much more. It drinks much more like a 100 proof, maybe 105, 107.
I'm going back in for the nose, man. Oh, my God.
I'd make a candle out of it.
I would definitely make a candle.
I'd make
out
a
of
bath
this.
bomb out of it. I'd
Yeah.
make a body lotion.
You can do that. You just pour a bottle of Nulu all over yourself. That's just good, man.
I like that so much. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan. I'd say probably overall, maybe in like the 14 or 15 range.
Yeah,
Out
I
of
would
20?
say that too. I would probably go like 13.5 to 15,
Yeah,
which is good. Mm-hmm. I think the price is a little steep, but they're doing a lot to it.
it is.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
$69.99.
Yeah, but you can get a lot worse for a lot more money.
Yeah, and I think it's also worth pointing out that who else is doing Toasted Barrel cast strength?
Nobody that I know of.
Yeah,
Is anybody?
not that I know of. Michter's maybe Down Home. I think did some.
Maybe Foregate might have done something.
Yeah, but even then,
With
like
it.
those are some like ultra premium brands that are charging some astronomical amounts.
Let's look this up. I'm curious now.
Because Foregate's going to run you $150 to $300 usually.
Well, Michter's Toasted Barrel Rye is cast strength.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the bourbon is though. Man, that's expensive stuff.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. It's one of those things too that like a lot of people don't want to jump on it, and then we opened up a bottle to let people taste it, and it was just boom, everyone wants it,
Yeah.
and you see why.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any other bourbon that's cast strength.
I've actually got their
Toasted.
non-toasted 5-year as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I'll let you get a pour of that before we leave.
Yeah, we got other stuff we gotta get to, including that one,
That one.
the unnamed sample.
Man, people are gonna be so mad at us. Good for them.
I just can't believe that we're gonna review it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost mad that
Good.
we're reviewing it.
Good.
Don't get mad. Get drunk.
Oh, that's a t-shirt. Oh.
Some of my best one-liners just kind of roll out. Don't get mad. Get drunk. That's such bad advice.
It's just you wearing a trash bag.
What a horrible piece of advice to give somebody. Hey man, hey, look, I know you're gonna get mad, but let's just stay calm and get drunk.
Yeah, this can escalate later, but for now, calm. Yeah. Well, you go ahead and pour what you want of this sample because I, one, have to take it light, and also, two, I want you to be able to talk about this in reference to a lot of other things, whether I'm on the podcast or not, for sure.
What I poured is enough.
Good. I can already tell you, this is the only hint I'm going to give you. Yeah.
The perfect glass for it, too.
Yeah. The only hint everyone's going to get is the price is going to be a 0.
If we have to have given a price a 0 at one point, right?
Oh, for sure. But like,
Or like other categories a 0.
I've not tasted or nosed this, and it's going to be a 0. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Maybe a 1.
Not for me, buddy. I know I'm subjective, but I'm not. Ooh, okay.
It's not a bad nose.
It's like banana nut bread.
We'll just spoil it. I can't remember the specifics on this one.
I believe it was finished for 3 years.
That's such a long time.
It's 2 to 3 years, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, we'll look it up before we shove a foot in our mouth here.
Lord knows we're doing that already.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. Webbed feet just shoved in my mouth. It's all good.
Oh, I just cannot get over the ice on this bottle.
Perry's got a case of the giggles tonight.
I don't know why. I just maybe it's because I'm tired.
It's because I rolled up and you're like, man, it's been a long day. I don't know how I'm going to keep the energy up. And then
here I am.
one drink in and he's got the giggles.
Have you tasted it yet?
No.
I haven't either.
I really do enjoy the nose, but I'll be honest, it doesn't smell like bourbon.
No, it smells more like cognac,
Yeah.
which would make sense actually.
Yeah. Where'd it go? So I took a...
It's just like it evaporates.
Yeah, I took a sip and it's just gone. Like the flavor's
the finish
not
is
bad.
nice though. The finish is really good.
Yeah, the finish is pretty good, but like, I don't know. Like I've just disappeared.
There's not a lot to this.
No, there's not. You want to go ahead and spoil it?
Yeah.
Don't sound so excited.
Can I say that this is the most expensive bourbon I've ever had?
Yeah, you can.
The Woodford Reserve Baccarat.
Yeah.
I finished. It says 3 seasons. I don't know if it's 3. That means 3 years.
Okay, so that could be a year and a half because I think they do 2 seasons per year.
Yeah.
So a year and a half.
In cognac barrels.
Yes. Yes.
So it's fine.
It's fine. So, I mean, you got to realize that this is a hand-blown Baccarat crystal, decanter. You are paying more so for the novelty of the glass, the box, the status behind it, the fact that someone finally decided to get it out of the case at Liquor Barn and they just wanted to not see it anymore. I mean, you're paying for a lot of that, not so much the juice inside. Sorry, Chris Morris. But, I mean, it's just fine. I will say it's one of the more interesting Woodfords I've had.
Oh, I can't disagree with that.
That is one of the most interesting Woodfords I've ever had.
I think here's where I think I'm getting tripped up. It's fine for the price.
Yes.
But I think that we're being led to that disclaimer because of I don't know how to put this. Our judgment's being clouded by that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's good. I genuinely think it's good.
I do too. I have a hard time. And so my friend reviewed this and he gave us a sample of this. But I have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that they just announced a 16, 17-year-old bourbon. And they decided that needed to go in just a run-of-the-mill bottle and put out. And this needed to be the one in the Baccarat crystal bottle. I feel like they needed to be flipped.
Yeah. Is there any age statement on this other than the 3 seasons of...
Not that I could find, no.
See, I mean, like, that's frustrating, too.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how old this actually was. I like this picture of this guy. Oh, I guess he's in a suit. I was going to say, just some guy casually pouring Baccarat edition Woodford in a bar. But it's a nice looking glass and it's a guy in a suit. So I'll give it to him. I don't know, like a 10 out of 20 maybe?
Yeah. That's probably where I'm at.
It's just, and I mean, the biggest issue with it is the price, of course.
The price, yeah. Like, availability's fine, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I've
really.
seen it a few times.
So high.
Yeah.
But and yes, if you do look at it from an art perspective, the price is probably more appropriate. I mean, like you were saying, it is handcrafted and hand blown.
Yeah, I mean, they do their own crystal, thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's blown craft. I have no idea.
I don't know how it works.
Because I really don't know what the difference between glass and crystal is, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know.
That was such an Andy Dwyer thing to say.
Yeah, but
I don't know the difference between glass and crystal, and by this point, I'm too scared to ask.
I'm too squared.
Too scared to ask.
Too squared to ask. Either way, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you were that big of a Woodford fan and you bought this, you could use this to decant Woodford for the rest of your lifetime.
You better use it for something.
Yeah.
Maybe for your divorce lawyer payments.
Something. Yeah. I don't see the appeal of this bottle. And to be honest with you, not a whole lot of people have either, because it sits around pretty frequently. I've seen it way more places than I should have for the limited availability that they boasted.
Have you noticed that neither of us have taken the second sip? Swan shoots $2,000 bourbon.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm sticking with my 10 out of 20.
I'm going to give it probably about the same. Yeah. Like 9, 10.
Yeah. I was kind of leaning more 9 on that second sip. So
Yeah. That being said, the glass is beautiful. Crystal glass. I don't know.
Look, it's like bourbon and whiskey. All crystal is glass, but not all glass is crystal.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
I don't know.
what else are we drinking tonight?
How about one that we've been meaning to review on the show for a while?
That's like 40 different ones. I'm
Yeah,
going to
I
need you
know.
to narrow it down.
Well, I just picked this one up today.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Yes.
Yellowstone Limited Edition, 2020. Beautiful freaking bottle, finished in Armagnac casks.
Yes. Just yes.
Yeah, man. 101 proof. So pumped. So pumped. We had this at Chad and Sarah's house
We did,
a
yes.
few weeks back. And I was like, we need to actually review this. Chad would kill me right now.
Oh, my heart's just hurting. Yeah, it's so bad.
It wasn't well wrapped on there either.
But like knives, they exist.
I don't have one right now. Did you have one on you?
I mean, no, but they do exist. Like,
You can say that about just about anything.
Yeah, sometimes I look at my bank account and I'm like, money, it does exist, but it doesn't make
It's
it
just
so.
not there.
Yeah. It's just not currently available. So Yellowstone, finished in Armagnac, 101 proof.
There's a label on the side.
There is.
I don't know if there's more information on there.
No, it's just kind of a history of what's going on.
Because I don't know if there's an age
No.
on this one.
They don't disclose a ton. They usually disclose the one defining factor, and that's about it. Because they had like a 12-year or something at one point they put out. And like a wine barrel finished and a few other things.
Undisclosed distillery company website says 7 years old, though.
7 years old. Cool.
And it is finished in Armagnac casks. Yeah. Thanks, Breaking Bourbon, for helping me clarify that.
Oh, instantly better than what we just had.
Heck, man.
There's just like a certain...
How do you say?
No, there's like a certain bite that Woodford tries so hard to cover up that I feel like just does well with finishing.
Yeah.
I just don't quite get it. Like, I mean, I guess that's their thing. They are meant to be the most non-offensive, crowd-pleasing bourbon you could possibly get. And I just don't think it does well with finishing.
And I mean, Woodford's fine as it is.
It is probably like one of the most sold bourbons I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, absolutely. People think it's real, it's real fancy stuff.
It's fancy. It's real fancy. You ever get you some of that double oaked? It's extra fancy.
I was talking with my buddy Colin from the Hop On's podcast the other day about Woodford double oaked, and we were both like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
there's just not a lot to it that I like too much. It's good with a cigar. I mean, like, it's got usefulness to it, I guess. I bet it's fun to cook with.
Yeah.
That's a real...
That's
That's a compliment if I've ever heard one.
What are you thinking? What you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling like it tastes a lot better than that Woodford did.
God, we have got to stop making Chris Morris mad. I mean, I know that man just brings that company in millions, so he doesn't care. But at the same time, like, we are not a friend of his. We're not a fan of his products, like, at all.
And I genuinely feel bad about it too. Like, I want to be. I think the batch proof is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my favorite, but I think it's way better than anything else on their line.
That's fair. Anyways, this is actually really
This is
good.
spectacular. I love this.
I do too. And so I'm going to say something I think kind of strange here. I think Yellowstone did a good job selecting a younger bourbon to put this with.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, I mean, we did a pick, Riffmas pick, and it's got some kind of Armagnac-esque features within it. It's kind of a little fruitier, a little more earthy, kind of like a kind of caramely, just light essence to it. That's what they're imparting on some bourbon right now. I think it does well when it's got a slightly younger bourbon to kind of go with it, as opposed to something that's way over oaked that just has some fruitiness. Kind of just, I don't know, the LaCroix factor of like, it tastes like this. Not really.
But if you watered it down.
Yeah. This tastes like if you screamed pineapple into a room. Yeah.
My favorite one is drinking LaCroix is like somebody shouting the name of a fruit from a different room.
Yeah.
While you were drinking it.
Exactly. Like it's.
Or are you drinking club soda?
I feel like it would get drowned out if it was in like Russell's or something, that's very over oaked, for some people.
This might have just become a contender for my top 10.
I'm going to disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's very good.
Huh.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be finished more. or less or what? I don't know. Personally, for me, I feel like it needs a little extra something.
I could maybe. It might wind up being like an honorable mention. You know,
I could see that.
because I do those every year.
Yeah.
What is this, the 4th year now that we'll have done best ofs? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we started in 2017 and we did best ofs that year. So
I don't know. I mean, the more I sit with it, the more I like it, but I think the nose is phenomenal. I have some issues with the palate more so.
what are your issues with the palate?
I just feel like it needs something extra. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's proof. I don't know if it needs to be finished longer.
I do feel like it could be a little bit higher in proof. But I don't think that it detracts from the overall quality. I think that I would probably wind up giving it maybe like a 15 again.
Yeah, I think I would also put it right at about 15 or 16.
Yeah.
I think the price is spot on.
Yeah, at $100. I paid a little bit more than MSRP for this, but it was mostly because I hadn't seen it anywhere yet, or I didn't have the money to get it if I did before today.
That's fair.
So I was like, I'll grab a little something extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 15. I'm gonna stick with it.
I agree.
I'd
It's
have
good.
yeah.
It's good.
It is good.
It's just good.
It's just good?
Yeah.
What do you mean just good, Swan?
It's just.
What do you mean just good?
It's just. Stephen Beam, help me. Like, I don't know. I mean, it is very good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. I feel like Armagnac is just one of those things that people don't finish in because it doesn't impart enough flavor. Even though the flavors you do get are good, it's completely overpowered by the fact that it's in this.
I've been meaning to get Steven on the show for a while now.
I think it'd be great because he's been doing those with the 375s, the limestone branch ones, I think, and people love them.
Yeah. I've got one that's okay, but I think it was the picking team that screwed up on that.
I would love to see what he feels like is the best of those to try.
Yeah.
Because they seem almost experimental. And, I feel like that's kind of the gist with a lot of 375s now from larger companies.
Well, Yellowstone's still, or Limestone Branch is still on the craft trail. They're still very small. They're an extremely small operation.
They are, yeah.
And this is sourced. The LE is always sourced.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, yeah. But I want to get him on the show. I want to talk about the kind of the art of blending, the way that he blends.
Yeah.
And how he goes about with finishing.
I just figured out why I'm not loving this as much.
Please tell.
I enjoyed our blend of Armagnac and Rare Breed.
And Rare Breed more.
Just as much for a significantly cheaper price. And I hate that it's that way. But genuinely, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think this is a great, accessible, consistent thing to do.
Yeah.
Telling someone to go hunt down a bottle of Rare Breed and 1998 Delord Armagnac is not exactly a consistent method for blending.
Do you sell much Armagnac? Not really.
No.
There's that. I should get that set.
Yeah. That set, apparently the oldest one just makes it worth it. I think it's a 1979.
Oh, yes.
So
heck yes. We'll do another Armagnac episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll blend it with Rare Breed. 1979.
Just blend it all with Rare Breed. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to try something just completely left field next?
Is it Scotch?
No.
Oh, what is this?
The sound of paper. There you go. You can read up on it if you want to.
Virgil Cane Ribbon Rail Rye, straight rye whiskey from South Carolina. I adopted that accent about halfway through because I realized it seemed slightly appropriate.
Yeah.
Ribbon Rail Rye embodies the perfect blend of 3 distinctive straight rye whiskeys. Partnering with Revelry Brewing, we created this unique blend that consists of 5-year-old rye, 4-year-old rye, double-barreled rye, and 4-year-old double-barreled rye, and a delicious double-barreled rye whiskey in chocolate malted porter beer barrels. Holy moly. The result, one-of-a-kind rye whiskey with the ultimate balance of spice and sweet, along with unmistakable notes of cherry and chocolate. If you have been waiting for the perfect sipping rye whiskey, it's in your hands. I can sip this piece of paper?
Absolutely. I just figured this was up your alley, man.
It is 100% up my alley.
Chocolate porter. That sounded like something you would like, and some double-barreled rye. That's just interesting.
Yeah, 99.2 proof. It's a good, interesting proof. Hold on, I gotta finish my yellows.
What a terrible thing.
I'm really happy that I got that bottle. Really, really happy that I got that bottle.
Me too.
Do you want? Should I finish this?
Yeah, it was only a 1 ouncer. We're good. Yeah, and I will say a couple of these samples, actually a lot of these samples are supplied by Chad from My Daily Bourbon.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Give him a follow. Great guy. Does a lot of reviews. So a lot of the things that we've reviewed, he's also reviewed. So you can kind of get his take and our take and decide whether or not maybe, hey, this is something I want to buy.
His feelings on the old Overholts that we reviewed a couple weeks back. Pretty much the same as what we had.
Those are pretty cut and dry, I have a feeling.
Yeah. Because
even like the Todd who gave them to us was just like, and 114 is great. 11 years, it's there.
I took the 114 over to my dad.
What do you think?
What did he like? He liked it better than something. I can't remember what it was. I've got too many bottles.
Whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
Sorry, I just smelled this while you were talking.
That's bizarre.
That is bizarre.
That smells more savory than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells like basil.
Yeah. Not Hayden, but like
No, like
yeah.
basil the herb.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm getting like that chocolatey stuff too.
I am too.
But it's not as apparent as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like them taking an entire cocoa bean and shoving it up my nose.
It's also very minty.
Yeah. It is very minty.
It's really, really different.
It is. Whew. Okay. I think I'm ready for the palate on this one.
There's a little bit of citrus in there too. It's kind of lemony. But that is truly just a wildly different nose from everything else that we've had tonight.
Wow. Oh, the finish. Oh, I'm loving this, actually.
Whew, that is hot on the back end of the palate.
It is, but like, have you ever had a finish that hits the upper back roof of your mouth?
No.
Like, did it do the same for you?
It did the exact, like I can feel it kind of cycling through the back of my mouth towards my throat as I'm talking. That is wild.
I almost like that for the sensation. Did I just find out something about myself?
It's like that outtake from Parks and Rec that we talked about that one time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Chris Pratt. What a legend.
Uh-huh. This is really good.
This is very unique.
What's the MSRP on this?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up. So literally he handed this to me with like a little paper that they had put in kind of with info. I didn't look anything up. I was just like, it's new. Never had it.
Did he get a full bottle of it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. We should reach out to them if they're sending out full bottles.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to share this with some people.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention at the top of the show? That I did a barrel pick today.
Yeah.
I talked about it on the pregame chats, but I didn't talk about it in what we've been drinking. Yeah, I went on a barrel pick with the Texas Whiskey Consortium and our buddy Travis.
Oh, there's
Or
no
Cletus.
way this is the price.
Anyway, we picked a really, really good barrel of Buffalo Trace. And what made me remember that is that I looked over at the bottle of Benchmark Foolproof, and I meant to ask Susanna, who does their barrel picks there, if she knew what the distribution was going to be like in the future. Because I think it's weird that we haven't gotten it in Kentucky yet. But yeah, what's the price?
They've actually got a whole line. I was looking at something else on theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw one for $27.99.
Snap! We don't have to ask them to send us a bottle. We'll just buy one.
I can't find it. That's the thing. I can't find the MSRP anywhere.
The Ribbon Rail Rye.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's no way it was distillery only. Ooh, I found a price.
What's that?
Gnarlyvines.com has it listed for $85.
I still think this is original enough for that.
Yeah. DeWineSpot.co has it for $80. So, I mean, I guess in general it's about $80.
Yeah. I spilled it all over my phone.
Did you really?
It's great. Yeah, it's fine. These
Okay.
are waterproof now, right?
I mean, for the most part.
Yeah. They're bourbon proof, kind of.
Yeah. That's the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I will say $80 is a lot for a 3-year-old rye.
It is, yeah, but they have done a lot to it.
It's so unique.
Yeah.
There's nothing like this on the market.
There's not. This is one that I would highly suggest if you could try it at a bar, and then just decide, hey, this gimmick is for me, man.
Swan's just knocking stuff all over the place.
Yeah,
you might want to put your cap back on that water bottle there too.
Nah, because it just like, you know.
Yeah, but if you knock it off with the cap off, it's just gonna spill everywhere.
I'm willing to take that risk, Perry.
All right. I guess I'm cleaning water up later.
Nah. There we go. We'll just tighten the cap a little. Just tighten it up. Anyways, Ribbon Rail Rye. I think it would be a solid 12.5, 13 for me.
Yeah, it's... I don't... Like, I say unique, and I'm not implying that unique just automatically equals good. There are parts of it that I'm not super crazy about. I was getting kind of a licorice note on the palate as well that I just not a big fan of. So, I don't know. I'd probably lean a little bit more 11.5 to 12.
That's fair.
Overall. So
I'm a sucker for a good chocolate note, so I'm
Yeah.
going to go up a little on it.
yeah. So I would more than likely be in the 12 range.
Still impressed.
I want more of this though.
For the first thing that I've ever tried from
Yeah.
them, they have an entire line.
Uh-huh.
So I'd be curious to see what the rest of their stuff is like, especially if it's this unique as far as how they put it together.
Shoot, man, if they're sending out full bottles, I'll reach out to them and
Yeah,
say,
'cause
hey,
we could share this with quite a few people and be like, right?
what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, I think I got 2 more in me. What you feeling?
Well, we could do one. Okay, we could do this one of 2 ways. We could review 2 that we need to, or 1 that we need to, and 1 just for fun.
Let's do 1 that we need to and 1 just for fun.
Cool. We need to review Restoration Rye.
Oh, let's do it, buddy.
We need to.
Let's do it.
We've been teasing it for a couple of weeks, and I think that it's just time.
It's time. Yeah.
That we get into it. I'm gonna grab a clean glass. I'm sorry I don't have one ready for you,
Oh, it's all good.
but I just
I will say the bottle is not as over-designed in person.
let's talk about the design of the bottle.
Yeah, because this needs to be out of the way first. This is a beautiful bottle with a design that we an actual like label design that we were not loving at
Well,
first.
let me be honest. I don't love the label. I still think that it's a little bit over designed.
Yeah, I agree.
And one of the things that I think I was talking about this with the guys from Tell Me I'm Wrong. One of the things that, and actually we were talking about it too when, for the episode that came out 2 weeks ago. Everything about Castle and Key's branding has been clean. Right? Simple design, really easy to digest. And this label is not that.
It's not that, no. And I feel like they could have gotten away with more of a Woodford approach where they literally just did like minimalistic, emboss, leave it alone, and call it a day. And they really didn't. Also, not to call you guys out, but who in the world is writing how many years aged was on the back of this? Because I've looked at like at least 20 of these bottles now at work and gone, oh, well, maybe the first one was only the one that looked like 8 years. No. Whoever wrote it, they all look like 8 years.
Yeah, it's not good. But positives about the bottle. It's a beautifully shaped glass.
It is, yeah. It's a very unique shaped glass, which you don't get a whole lot anymore.
The cap, who calls a cork a cap? The cork or the topper is reminiscent of I believe it's what was used as like a reservoir.
Yeah.
By Colonel Taylor when he was distilling there. Everything else still has that kind of that regal vibe that you kind of feel at Castle and Key. I mean, it's very much the distillery.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it fits. The bottle shape fits in super. I have not noticed that yet.
Yeah, on the bottom.
Holy crap!
And it also says Castle and Key Distillery all the way around.
Awesome.
Yeah, here, look at it, man. It's cool.
How have I not noticed that?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they needed that crazy label.
No, they absolutely didn't. I don't know if embossed is the right way to go. I think that, like, printed on the bottle would have been. I think that's what you meant.
Yeah,
with the Woodford approach.
I feel like that would have been fine. Honestly, I really do.
Yeah, and I get it. I get the label.
I do,
but
too.
I just don't like it. Honestly, I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think it stands out on the rye shelf. I will say that
for sure.
Yeah,
and it's going to stand out when the bourbon comes out as well. If they keep this bottle design and this label design, I'm sure they're going to. I mean, I can't imagine that they would go too far from this branding with whiskey.
Yeah.
But who's to say? I mean, they could completely do a 180 and go back to the old style that they were, working with.
I like that it makes you think, though, because there's not many labels that you're just like, I'm going to tear this apart.
Yes.
So
I agree.
nice.
I agree with you. And it works the part of my brain that I don't use as much as I did when I was in school.
Yeah.
And like really be analytical about it and try to break apart what it is and dissect it and get into it. But so it's at least 3 years old.
At least 3 years old, and it's 103 proof, right?
Yeah. Inaugural batch.
Do you know they've already put out 2 batches?
Really?
There's a second batch already floating around, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten the second batch?
Mm-hmm.
I might have to grab it.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it myself.
If it's different enough from the first batch, I will pick it up. But if it's basically just a retread of the first one, I don't see much point in it.
Yeah, and I have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that small batch is bad. It's just that
yeah.
This is a slightly more premium product and one that I would prefer to see a little bit more attention to detail in.
Yeah. they've set the expectations so high, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That being said, actually getting into the bourbon, the nose is like my favorite. The rye, it's the nose is probably my favorite part of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally just reminds me of Andy's Mints.
I think I might have to disagree with you. I think the palate is the best part of this.
Really?
Yeah. Let me be perfectly honest, though. I am not overly impressed with this release.
It's fair.
I think it's good. I think it's a really strong first foot forward. It needed a guiding hand or a master vision that was lost when Marianne left. I don't think that there's the singular vision anymore with Caste Key.
No, I can get behind that. I feel like it kind of left the whole, like, you know, I've got a plan for this. I want to put it out when I'm ready. And they kind of realize it's like, hey, we got to make money, man. I mean, there's definitely a correlation behind, like, oh, COVID, can't do as many tours, can't do as many venues. All of a sudden it's like, well, now the rye's got to come out. I mean, that's just easy to spot, you know?
And may I remind you, too, she said on this very show that it was not entirely her decision to leave the company.
Yeah. And so that being said, I think that genuinely their gin is going to continue to be one of their driving factors. I think they make a fantastic, you know, what do they have? Like a spring and a fall release on the gin, and then just a standard. But I mean, I feel like this could have waited. I feel like honestly another year or two, and this would have been more interesting. And who am I to say? Maybe this is the best product they've got out right now. They may have selected the best barrels they possibly have, and they put it together, and this is what it tastes like.
Yeah.
But I think it's just fine.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to make some great cocktails, but I mean, depending on the master distiller, saying, "Hey, your stuff makes good cocktails," is kind of demeaning. You know,
Unless that's the intention.
unless it's the intention. Yes,
I agree with you.
yeah.
I'm just underwhelmed. I am just underwhelmed by this. But I do still enjoy it. I like going back to it, and I do enjoy drinking it. And part of it could be, too, the build-up behind it.
Yeah, your expectation was set so high.
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
can't live up to that.
For sure.
But let me ask you this. If money weren't an object and you were to pick between 3 rye whiskeys, would you pick this, Peerless, or the new release of rye from James E. Pepper?
James E. Pepper.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, James E. Pepper.
I mean,
It's a
relatively
phenomenal rye whiskey.
But I'm saying, though, is like, relatively, they're all the same age from a smaller distiller.
Yeah.
And it's all their own product, right?
I don't know if the Pepper's theirs.
Okay.
I think that they might have sourced that one.
But even then, a 4-year-old rye whiskey at 110 proof.
It's for $50 a bottle. It's killer. It's an absolutely stellar whiskey.
Yeah, and I just think that, I mean, I would literally put this last out of the 3.
Yeah. I think I would too.
Yeah.
And I know that you say, like, if money weren't an option or an obstacle, but, like, I still don't know if Peerless is exactly what I want it to be either.
It's not, but I feel like they have more depth in their rye whiskey than this. Is one of
I can
those,
get behind that.
This is going to be one of those that has a great one note and lacks a little depth. And it's approachable for a rye, but I don't always want that in a rye.
Rye always feels like it should be bourbon's bigger, meaner brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want a warming in my chest.
Yeah.
I want a bit more of like something that's going to make me think. I tend to break down rye whiskeys a little more.
Yeah.
I'm not as like critical on proof. I noticed that like I enjoy.
Oh, for sure.
Like this year, we were like Sazerac, hands down over the Handy.
Yeah.
But I mean, genuinely, I just don't feel challenged by this. I feel like it was meant to be kind of the Woodford approach, where it's just accessible to everybody, and I feel like it's just a decent first release. But that being said, a decent first release is not a bad thing. And having something that's approachable is also not a bad thing. I think we're just at the point where we want something that's not this. And if other people resonate with our palates, they're going to think the same thing.
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think this was made for us.
Yeah.
I really don't think this was made for us. I wanted it to so badly.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted it to. I wanted this to be the end all be all for this company, and then get just unbelievably surprised by their bourbon.
I think a rye select that came out at cask strength would be phenomenal.
Okay, yes. Let me backtrack a little bit, because I do want to talk about what the potential for their bourbon is right now. So this is a 3-year rye whiskey. We've had a 2-year rye whiskey that punches way above its weight class and is, I would argue, far superior to this bottle.
Okay.
And that's the Hotel Tango.
Yes. The only thing about the Hotel Tango is it's a little harsh.
It is.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about complexity, we're talking about depth of character.
Yeah.
Hotel Tango has it.
Yeah, I agree.
This doesn't.
This is like white bread compared to rye bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm worried about what the bourbon's going to be like. Because with the way that bourbon ages in comparison to rye, and they're rushing to get the product out, I am really, really concerned that it's just going to be bland.
Yeah.
And that people keep telling us too, oh, you just haven't had the right pinhook, you just haven't had the right bottle. And like there's those pinhooks that were distilled and aged at Castle Key. I'm underwhelmed by those.
Yeah.
And if those are anything to go off of, it's not looking so good for Castle Key's own brand.
It's not. But again, I have to point out, they make one of the most fantastic gins. That's not something to be upset about. I don't know if I'm in love with some of their aged products.
Well, here's the other thing about the gin. That's a product that was laid out.
The footstones of that were laid out by Mary Ann.
And all they had to do was replicate that. There was no guide map for their whiskeys.
Yeah.
And sure, the initial idea was we're going to try to recreate this flavor of a Prohibition-era E.H. Taylor product. But do they still hold that vision? Is that still something that we can expect from them?
I don't know.
I don't even know if this is what Marianne's initial vision for the rye was supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you also got to realize too, like you got to take Marianne out of the scenario. Is this what the owner's decision was for this? Because they made, based on the speculation, they made the cautious decision that they didn't want her vision to take part in the brand.
There's no speculation.
Yeah,
She outright told me.
but I know, but I'm saying like she kind of just hinted at it as opposed to blatantly said it.
Well, okay, that's fair.
You
but-
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But it's much less like we're all sitting around with our tinfoil hats on going, well, I think that she was,
Listen, I make a great tinfoil hat. Okay.
what it's on your resume.
It's on my resume, yes. It's in the special skills section. But, I mean, it's just, if the owner decided, hey, listen, at some point, I would prefer to put out a lesser whiskey to maybe make more money up front, then, and decided that she needed to be not a part of the process to make that okay. I mean, I don't know. That's a very like strange place to be in. Like I feel like if that's what he wanted, then we need to take her out of the scenario because she's obviously maybe not going to approve this.
Should I ask her?
I don't think she's going to comment on this one, to be honest with you. Because I've seen nothing from her. I feel like there's been multiple attempts to just be like, hey, what'd you think? Hey, what'd you think?
Worst case scenario is she says, no, we can't. I can't comment on it.
Yeah, and even then, like, she might tell you her feelings, but I can't imagine she's going to be like, yeah, publicize it.
I said, if I were to ask you, Marianne, what's your opinion on the recently released Caste Key Restoration Rye? Would you be able and willing to respond? And if so, can we share that information? I'm not trying to gotcha here, but I also haven't seen anyone put out your thoughts on the matter. We might come back to that a little bit later. I don't know yet. This is the one that I want to break down. This is the one that I want to go step by step with.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
I know it's getting kind of late. I don't want to keep you too long.
No, it's all good. I got work at noon tomorrow.
Oh, solid.
Yeah,
don't
time's
have-
fake now.
I don't have work tomorrow.
Nice.
I don't have work for a little while. I think, okay, she went the best route. I think she could have gone with it.
Okay.
Her response was, I haven't tasted it, so I can't really provide my thoughts. I don't do any marketing for Caste Key anymore. Duh. But I will always be proud of what I built there.
Nice.
There we go.
Dude, I feel like she's probably got one of those where you type like A 5 times and it just auto-completes that. I have that. I type A 5 times and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm driving right now. I'll text you back in a minute.
I've got that for emails and our address.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to break this one down.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it.
So what do you think on the nose?
Nose, I'm going to give it... and give it a 3.
2.5.
2.5. I feel like this is going to get some good ratings for how we did not talk about it well. Because, again, it is so non-offensive. It's just not...
I agree.
Mind-blowing.
I agree.
Palate, I'm going to go a little bit less so.
I'm going up with the palate.
See, for me, I'm just getting some, like, wet grass. Somewhere in there. Like, it's mixed in with, like, kind of the mintiness, some chocolate, some decent notes. And when I say chocolate, it's almost more of, like, a cocoa powder kind of thing. Not necessarily like a milk chocolate.
I'm going 3.5.
See, for me, I'm going a 2.
I think that there is complexity to it. And but it's just not out of this world.
That's fair.
Honestly, I might bump it down to a 3.
I'm at a 2. I'm pretty strict on that.
I'm gonna bump it down to a 2.
I think
Or a
this
3,
is genuinely the least appealing part.
I don't think so. I think the finish is the least appealing part because
finish-
it's non-existent.
Yeah, the finish is not there. But I'm actually going to give this an extra point more so than I would normally because, again, it's non-offensive. So my big thing with
Non-offensive?
rye is, think about this. So with rye...
Is non-offensive here?
Yes.
It's a really dumb joke from another podcast that I listen to.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's non-offensive.
It's just getting worse. What is going on?
That's what she sounds like on that podcast. What did I say? I'm just quoting something.
Oh my god!
Why I gotta make this complicated, Swan?
It's not. It's all my fault. You're right. But I mean, seriously, like with rye, the big complaint is I can't drink it. It's too spicy.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
No.
It's literally just a little bit of honey. The kind of a little bit of slight wet grass thing that I have going on goes away. It's just a small little drip of honey and nothing else, no heat. That's it. I mean, that's all that there is. I feel like if it was our first drink of the night, I might get a little more, but a lot of the ryes that we've enjoyed at this age have been closer to cask strength, and this is at 103.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, looking at New Riff's cask strength, maybe this is closer to cask strength than we think, but I don't know what their barrel entry proof stuff was.
That is fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
But it's just not... It's not as hot as I want it to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go off of what I am experiencing with it.
Yeah. Just to give it a score for me, I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
I'm gonna give it a 2. I really didn't want to give it that.
Yeah.
But I also wanted more from the finish. I mean, it just is lackluster in delivering the hug, in delivering something that could entice people to go back for another drink. I do want to keep drinking this. I want to make that very clear. I do like this. I don't dislike it. But in a vacuum, it just doesn't hold up the way that it probably should have.
Yeah.
Price at $40. 42.
$36.99.
$36.99.
$36.99 at
Dang
most
it.
places.
Well, Castle and Key's getting you for it then. $36.99. That's really not a bad price.
I give it a 4.
Yeah, I want to give it a 4 as well.
Just because, I mean, comparatively to other distilleries, they're murdering it. I mean, they are absolutely killing it. Not to mention, I don't know how the hell they're making money. Because they have brass all over this thing. The bottle's gorgeous. I know it costs them a good amount of money. I mean,
that cork is substantial too.
It is.
I mean, it's a beast of a cork.
It is an expensive cork. It's an expensive bottle. I mean, they customized the heck out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of those T-shirts where they're like, I'm going to show you everywhere you can print on this. And they have like printing everywhere, but it's just nonsense. Like they did that, but it's all cohesively themed for Castle and Key. Like it's intense. It's nice.
We both wound up with the same score.
11.5.
I don't know how that happened.
Nah, whatever. That's fine.
I have so many questions I want to ask Marianne.
Yeah.
I really, really, truly, and I just told her that as well. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to pick your brain on this, and like, I don't even have to put it on the podcast. I mean, I could. I probably could. She probably wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But
she's moved on. I mean, she's doing her stuff with Sweeten's Cove. She just announced, and I said we weren't going to get into the news, but there's 4 different single barrels of Sweeten's Cove coming out.
And?
I mean, I'm just saying, that's like, she's curating some of that stuff.
She's working. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
she has her product. She has Eve's Blind.
Yeah.
There are many different things that she's got her fingers in to work through. So,
yeah.
By all means, I'm not trying to stir up old things, old wounds or anything, but
no, and I don't think she's going to see it like that. I think if anything, Castle and Key's going to see it like that.
Well, and let me be very clear. Marianne is my friend.
Yeah.
And I have friends who work at Castle and Key.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I work with a guy that's also at Castle and Key.
Yeah. Wait, is he still working at Total Wine too?
Yeah, 1 day a week, just for fun.
Really?
Just for fun.
Well, I guess that's how he knows all the stuff that gets put out. Mm-hmm. I had no idea.
Yeah.
He's never told me that.
Yeah. Works 6 a.m. to 10 and leaves. That's all
6 a.m. to 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Good old James. Love
That's
him, man.
amazing. I want to have James on the podcast sometime, too.
Oh, dude, he's so good. Honestly,
He's
if
one
you
of my
want to do
favorite
a
people.
beer podcast, that's who you need to have
Heck
on.
yes.
Absolutely.
Heck yes. Oh, I'm so down for that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my point is, I'm not taking sides. My review is solely because
This is the whiskey we tasted tonight.
this is the whiskey we tasted.
Yeah.
And I'm not. It's not being colored by one opinion or the other. I just think they missed the mark on this one.
Yeah. I think they took the Woodford approach, and I'm not as happy about it.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
But again, it's good, and I will continue to drink it.
Yes.
However, there's more to be desired.
There is, and I think it's going to be amazing in some cocktails, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do too. I
really do.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
While we do tips and bits, let's drink the one just for fun.
Okay, what's the just for fun one?
$17.92 foolproof pick from Liquor Barn.
Boy, hit me with it.
I just got this one today too.
Nice.
That's the Justin's House of Bourbon sticker. I was like, what's this extra weird sticker on the back that's not even fully on there? I will be honest. I think that people should go and buy this. I don't think that it's a pass for me at all.
No, at the price, if nothing else, this is a fantastic collector's item.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I'm going to buy another one.
Yeah.
I've got to know if batch 2 is any different. I get the feeling it might not be, but I don't know. Who's to say? So, tips and bits. Swan, this is the segment of the show where we recommend things, not always bourbon related, but maybe it's something that we've been watching recently.
Yeah.
Listening to, reading, if you're into that kind of thing.
Reading's hard, man.
Reading's for nerds.
Man, you just went intense with it.
No, I'm just kidding. I love reading. I have not read enough books this year. I wanted to read more books this year, and I simply haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, just haven't had time for it. So this is something I've been struggling with for a long time, but I'll just put it out there just as a good reminder. Be sure you separate work and home. Like, I've recently been, like, that's my tip, seriously.
I thought we were getting real deep here.
No, like, recently I've been able to fully do that, and it's been it's extremely freeing.
It's a big change for you.
It is, yes. just be sure you make time for work and home, and you have very, very, like, harsh cutoffs for each one. Like, you need to make sure that you're taking care of it and prioritize which one's more important, because sometimes it's easy to be like, if I just put all of my hours and all of my thought and all of my effort into work, it'll all be all right. And then everyone at home's like, I've not seen you in 3 days. Where you been? Just make sure you have time for that. Also, Big Mouth just put out a new season. That's another good one.
I gotta get caught up on Big Mouth.
Yep.
I'm like 2 seasons behind.
Love John Mulaney.
Oh, John Mulaney is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and what's his name? Nathan Kroll?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also great.
He's
Love
hilarious.
Him. He is, yeah.
His show on Comedy Central was amazing, and it didn't last very long.
It didn't, no. The League, did you ever watch that?
I never watched The League.
Dude, The League, him in The League is fantastic.
It's all about fantasy football, isn't it?
I don't care. And they don't talk about football. It's about fantasy football, but like the first episode, they're just like, oh, who's going to be able to pick first? And they're like, they start betting on kids at like a like a barbecue. Just like, I bet little Timmy over there is going to finish the sack race before your daughter does. And he's just like, I know my daughter. She's not going to win. I'm betting on little Timmy too. Like, I mean, they just go nuts with it, man. So The League, Big Mouth, and just making time to, actually enjoy your home life.
I'm bad about that.
It's hard.
I truly am bad about
and it's
that.
even harder right now because everyone is working at home.
Well, yes, but also I'm the only one who is working full time.
Yes.
So I have to be more diligent about the time that I am spending with work and trying to supplement some of that income the best that I can.
Yeah.
So it'll balance out. It'll even out. But, I also work very hard with the podcast, of course, and do a lot of things to make it successful. It's a lot.
Just a big jump of proof, buddy.
That's fair. What is it, 12 proof points?
103 to 125.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
All right, George Takei. Takei something. I don't know. That's tasty.
There we go.
Dude, the amount of citrus in that?
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, that tastes like one of those Terry's chocolate oranges you smack on the counter. And
It almost drinks like a cocktail.
Yeah. Almost has like a little bit of a vermouth thing going on.
It is dry.
Yeah. But I don't mind it. I need to find me a new foolproof pick.
This was the very last bottle at Liquor Barn. And it's the one near us, too. And I wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't looked at the display behind the register from behind. I was like, that's $17.92 foolproof. I'm gonna get that instead.
Absolutely.
Man,
So what's your tips and or bit?
Well, maybe I should try to find more time away from work. I'm working my best, man. I'm doing as much as I can to
Yeah.
help my family out. I had a significant one earlier in this week, and now I can't fully remember what it was. But I have been playing old Nintendo 64
Sorry,
games.
it's late. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I've been playing N64 games this week too,
Nice.
for whatever reason, and I've just been playing it on my emulator on my computer. I just was going through like games that you need to play before you die or whatever, like the best console games per console. And like I was reminded that Donkey Kong 64 is a game that exists, and it's impossibly hard. It's so hard. You know what makes it harder? That the game keeps glitching every time I try to jump on a vine. Like, it literally, like the pixels, I'm spitting apparently. The pixels will like shoot off to the right side of the screen when I try to jump to the vine. So there's literally nothing there for me to jump onto.
Sounds like a personal problem.
What are you talking about? I'm just telling you what. You know what really grinds my gears?
Pixels, man. Pixels. No, but hey, going back and playing some old video games is just fun.
Yeah, I've actually been doing that quite a bit recently.
Yeah.
It's funny because it all started with like Mario 64, which I don't have any nostalgia for because I never played it when I was younger. But it made me want to go back and play other N64 games to kind of revisit some of that nostalgia. So, in a way, it sparked it. But
Yeah. I have an actual Nintendo 64 at home with a couple of cartridges.
do you really?
Yeah.
I think my brother has ours.
If you want to play
his house.
Pokemon Stadium, come on over, bud.
Can we play Hey You Pikachu, the worst game on the N64?
No.
Did you ever play that game?
No, I have Spider-Man, Mario Kart 64, and what else? I've got Pokemon Stadium.
What's the Spider-Man game on N64?
Dude, it came in a red cartridge. It's dope. It's fantastic.
Is it the same game that was on the PlayStation?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know what this is.
It came in a red cartridge. Nice.
Yeah, you said that.
Did I mention it had a red cartridge? It was like there was two things in my childhood that stood out. It was the fact that Spider-Man had that like colored cartridge, and the Rugrats movie came in an orange VHS. Like those two were the pinnacles of odd colored equipment from childhood.
Yeah, that was actually the same game that came out on the 64 or on the PlayStation.
Okay, yeah.
Which so funny story about that game. Nobody cares about this.
This is for us.
Perry. Funny. This is purely just for us. We had the demo version of that game for the PC. So I would play over and over again the first boss fight, and it was the Scorpion. Mm-hmm. You just confirming that because you knew exactly what I was talking about.
I did, yeah.
Chef's kiss.
The worst part about that game was you would constantly be like, "Oh, I'm ready to fight," and then Spider-Man would be like, "I can climb things," and all of a sudden he would like jump up and grab a pipe above him, and you're just like, "What are you doing?" It was so frustrating.
Oh, good stuff. But I loved playing that demo. I got really good at it. There's a scene with the black cat on top of the Daily Bugle. I need to track down a ROM of
just the demo, not the full game.
No.
Just need the demo.
Ultimate nostalgia is playing the demo version of a game. That's like you can only play the first level of Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Because he ran out of quarters.
That's fantastic.
Oh. This is a very good 1792 foolproof pick.
It is, man. This was a good episode. Just relax.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. Just doing some picks.
We needed this. Yeah. I feel like, and going through some reviews is not the worst thing in the world. Oh goodness, I'm tired now.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to sleeping.
Me too.
Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode. Where can people find you, Swan, on social media if they would like to follow up with you?
I'm on Instagram at SwanTBF.
And I'm on all social media channels as at PRitter1492 if you want to follow up with the show. It's at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app of choice. We typically pull ours from the Apple podcast app. And guess what, Swan? We have a new review this week.
All right.
We actually read out these reviews as well, good or bad, here on the show. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and read out the bad one we got on Podbean as well. Oh, my voice really cracked. I'm going to do that one first. And actually, I don't think I ever told you about that review. No. But it's pretty brutal. Okay? So, says, guys, this is from a man named Jeremy. I won't give out his last name. But he says, guys, please learn to focus. If this is a bourbon podcast, please talk about bourbon. I don't need to hear about your cats or which bands you like or don't like. I downloaded this podcast to hear about bourbon. Please try to stay on topic. Even if the podcast is shorter, it will be more relevant. I have to fast forward past all your off-topic discussion.
Sorry, Patrick.
No. Jeremy.
Yep, my bad.
But on a much more positive note, on the Apple Podcasts app, we have a 5-star rating and review from RK Store, who is our buddy Ryan Story from Tell Me I'm Wrong. It said, great conversations. Perry has a great way of making you feel a part of the show and some great laid-back conversations. Ryan, thank you for leaving a review. I left a review for Tell Me I'm Wrong as well because I love those guys and I love that show, and you guys definitely need to go check it out. Let's see, what else? You can find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. You can... What was that? Oh. Okay. You can... You can send us questions or comments to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. We love hearing from listeners of the show. Somebody recently told me that the Auntie Donna boys were on another podcast. I think it was the Bert Kreischer podcast. So I need to go and check that out. Have you watched any of Auntie Donna on Netflix yet?
Mm-mm.
Swan.
Need to get on that.
Would you do me a solid?
Mm-hmm.
And before next week, watch all 6 20-minute episodes?
I might be able to do that.
It's an easy watch. I need to know how you feel about them. Or else we can't continue this podcast.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
It's aggressive.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, somebody reached out to me on the email about that. So if you have anything you'd like to inform us about, you can head over there. I can't remember the number for barrel rings. 859-428-8253. There it is. Our oft forgotten, but sometimes brought up segment, barrel rings, where we get a voicemail from people. 859-428-8253. As I said, you can leave us a voicemail there, and we'll respond to it on air. I go live on YouTube every Thursday night at 8 p.m. I say every, but I'm going to take a little break for the holidays after what will be tomorrow night when this episode comes out. And last but not least, you can become a patron of the show, a supporter of the show at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month and for as little as $5 a month. You get bonus content like the pregame chats and the last call, which I can't wait for us to start back up after the first of the year.
Yeah.
I'm psyched to get back into that nonsense. Let's thank a patron. We haven't thanked a patron in a while. Do you want to thank a patron?
Yeah.
You really are selling me on that.
Who we got? Because I'm not on the Patreon much.
Let's thank. Oh, we haven't thanked this guy yet. He's been a patron for us since April of 2019. Bill from the Whiskey Dick.
Nice.
It's awesome. Whiskey Dictionary. Sorry, parents who are listening to this with their kids. It's short for dictionary. Yeah, we appreciate everybody who is a patron of the show over there. Once again, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. It really helps me out with some bills, extra bills every month, as well as, costs for hosting the show, stuff like that, and promotion and whatnot as well. And you guys are awesome. I appreciate and love everybody who's over on the Patreon. I mean, I'd love you anyway, but, All right, let's wrap it up. Swan, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you next week.
Hopefully, yes.
I hope so. We've got to do our top 10 soon.
Yeah, we do need to do that soon.
Maybe I'll do another Christmas by the Fireside special sometime soon as well.
Yeah.
Because it was such a raving success the last time I did it.
Yes.
All right. Regardless, we will see you all next week. Thank you so much again for listening. But until next time, I'm Perry.
I'm Swan.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.